2. G2 getting to kick things off on the CT side. Obviously, their win streak has been continuing. Jason, you think that's going to continue into today?
I mean, that's where you put the odds, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, absolutely. Even though you give it to Hugo in the end, but
well, you know, even Hugo came to the desk and was like, "No, G2's going to
win." Got to give them a small win somewhere. But here we are, JKS at construction. Let's see if he's got anything up his sleeve at the ready. Here comes the smoke. JKS just waiting, biding his time, and swings into the fight. Sees a couple of Cloud9 players now running towards him.
He's alone. He's got no help with them, so this is a really interesting situation. They've just kind of an initial glance to kind of keep them at bay as long as possible, but there was a matter of time before JKS got ran over.
Well, Hobbit, and immediately taken out by Hunter. Not a problem for Hunter's USP, as we still stand at a 4v4, and Hooksy in middle. He knows Shiro's here. He can smell him. He knows he's always in these pesky positions, but dealing with him is a whole thing altogether.
They've got to go get that kid as well. They actually have to go kind of chase that down. Wow. Oh my lord, what shooting from Nafany and Shiro. Modessy's the only one left. He's taken down. Cloud9 have the pistol.
Yeah, well, they got a round already on the board. And, you know, coming into this event, you look at Cloud9's map pool. It's pretty weak when you look across the board.
I said on the desk, they've only played like 10 maps in the last 3 months. And it's like not like very spread out
only
either.
Like 2 of them are multiply played, you know? It's just kind of weird seeing
multiply played.
Yeah, that's a new word. It's a new word, Jason. I've added that one.
They've played Mirage 3 times, Inferno 4 times, and then Vertigo, Ancient, and Anubis they've played once each. Their Vertigo game was a win over Ents back at the Katowice play-in stage, so at least they've got that underneath their belt.
G2 can win these rounds, though. They always seem to find a way with the pistols. A couple of Ds, MP9 for Hunter boosted up, putting them in pretty good positions to get away with something at the moment. And let's see what Hunter can do with the MP9. Always rocks a new skin combo. And here he goes, letting rip on the MP9. Hobbit down and out. And he's taking a lot of damage. He's going to move away.
Hooksy and JKS waiting patiently at the B bomb site.
Here he goes. And JKS gets let up on top of the wood, but doesn't get away with it. Now it's Modessy's turn in mid.
Yeah, but more kills coming out. This is actually a little bit dicey. Shiro's going to have to be passive now with only 9 HP. Man advantage for G2. They've got a couple players dinged up as well. End of this round is going to get chaotic as Nafany's trying to peer over the smoke.
Ooh, getting tagged through it. Did enjoy anime moves from Nafany earlier on today. This team have become quite synonymous with anime.
Yeah, they all seem to love it.
Yeah, they have. And I think even Hugo was bringing that up, you know? It's maybe they can get back into this with some sort of anime storyline.
Well, this is a round where the new guy, Buster, is going to have to make a play. He's got full HP. He's got the Galil as well. He needs to start being able to pressure in towards middle. It's a little bit scary because he's got the bomb, but there's no other options left.
He's got a kill here, surely, but Hunter's left that position, went back in towards CT again. He's just in limbo between construction and CT, stays covered behind the wall, but it comes down to timing as there's limited time left here for Cloud9. This could get real messy. G2 just holding, Nafany coming around the corner, and Hooksy's 5-7. Gets a pick, the Deagle wasn't good enough to bring down Buster, but there's 9 seconds and 2 players still to cut through. And Buster's doing exactly that. He's found a couple, and now comes the bomb plant and swinging out. JKS can't deny the bomb plant itself, so it's on Shiro to try and clutch it. He's done damage onto Nico, but good luck bringing him down. The Deagle sends it through.
You can see, I mean, they would have liked, Shiro wanted to be aggressive in that round, right? But just low HP, he had to kind of sit far back and hope that they were going to kind of rotate into his position. So when his teammates go down, he has to kind of move at that point. But they would have loved to have had that extra player kind of attacking into the bomb site. Everyone split, everyone low and dinged up. Good round from G2.
Well, tied up 1-1 already. We're going to see what Cloud9's economic decision is going to be. They're going to force up into this. AK-47s, Galils, Deagles are going to start coming out. And G2's buy ain't that pretty either. You know, there's still a lot of weaknesses here. This is a very competitive round. Only should be.
Well, at least they've got some nice upgrades with that AK-47, the Galil. Yeah, this is, it could be better, but you're not going to complain if you're G2. Actually, in a round like this, it might not even be able to be that much better. G2 very, very solidly set up for this CT side. Low on utility for Cloud9. Tech9 on Hobbit, Deagle on Nafany.
Well, here goes Nico. Down short. A little bit of a gap to play with on the side of the smoke, but the masters of the smokes at bottom ramp are often Cloud9. And they are going to win that first fight. Shiro right through the smoke takes down Nico.
That's a painful one for G2 to take as well, because you don't even really get anything for it. You weren't even really challenging. That's just a free opening kill for Cloud9 through the smoke and no chance of a response. Utility and nade starting to run out for G2. Cloud9 have still managed to hold on to quite a bit of their own. Reconvening towards B stairs, but another smoke just deployed. Strong defense here with 3 people.
Yeah, Hunter's just got the flash set up, ready to go. It's about to be explosive for JKS over the top. His teammates just down in the midst of it all, and ooh, that's not exactly the best outcome for G2. Just 1 kill from JKS.
Good reposition from Hunter, though. They'll never expect this. They wouldn't expect anyone to get close up towards boards, and that's a play for G2 where you think maybe there's only 1 to 2 players beneath the stairs. They weren't ready for 3 to 4.
When you go to the top, you just see everyone looking at you.
Oh, this sucks. I did not imagine this being the situation.
Well, m0NESY, he's trying to pull this back. Through short, he's got a kill on Hobbit, who went off on a journey on his own. Oh, gonna get caught by m0NESY. Another kill for m0NESY, this time onto Shiro. Down to a 2v2. Somehow Cloud9 letting this round slip by, but Hunter not ready for that position, so it puts m0NESY in a 1v2. Stuck between 2 players, and what a recovery from Buster.
Yeah, that's really nice. That was scary for Cloud9 too, because you have a big advantage in manpower, but you're not playing the trade game. You're still playing that style where Hobbit's kind of getting aggressive, seeing how open the B bomb site is. He gets dropped alone. Buster's pressuring alone in middle as well. Trade's not coming in, made that much, much sketchier than it needed to be. And this is negating the B aggression from G2. Well done, and a great round from Buster with impact.
This game is going to be incredible, I think, throughout this one, because Cloud9, I think when you're playing against a team like G2, they'll rise to the occasion a little bit more than often. We see them against some smaller teams where they do slip up a bit, they don't get the big results, but you know, there's no looking past the fact that G2 and Cloud9 both have just incredibly world-class players. I liked yesterday the dynamic we had. I think Chad asked the question just as Nico was walking by. You know, who was the better rifler last year?
Yanko asked him.
Oh, yeah. Yanko, yeah.
Yeah, but he said Exile last year, but maybe last year Exile and me this year.
Yeah, it's cool to see the head-to-head, because the thing is they don't really play against each other that often. So we'll see how that starts to pan out. Well, here we go. G2 with a little Tower of Doom being set up again.
These force by wars are crazy now, extending into the 4th round, back and forth trades, and what a shot. Yeah, no, Hunter's going to be a little bit bummed out by that one. No chance on the fight.
Well, 1 minute left. Here comes Nico. Back in the middle with the famous D. He's got himself a chance, but Hobbit will take him down with the rifle at range. We now head under a minute. G2 really struggling to get anything going here in this round. They're going to at least try and bolster some mid control. Cloud9 not having too many issues. Apart from that, Axel decides to make a solo play into JKS. And m0NESY goes flying over the top against the boost position, but doesn't get anything.
Yeah, and you probably assume now if you're Cloud9, there's 2 players in middle. They did lose Axel. They know one's at the B bomb sites. They're starting to put together the round, and you can see on the minimap, Nafity with the bomb just hustling up ramp, feeling no real pressure whatsoever. Bomb being planted. Should be 3-1 for Cloud9. G2 is able to recover an AK-47. JKS is going to back off and save it.
It won't be too bad to that at the moment. JKS will slink away, but it has been just this force by war. Finally, someone's come out on top of it. Cloud9 only losing 1 player in this round. I noticed Nico, obviously he's had that skin for a very long time. Some of the most historic plays have come from that Deagle. I noticed he posted a picture on Instagram. He's actually got a real model of that Deagle.
Of the Deagle Blaze?
It's pretty cool.
That's sick.
It's become part of his brand.
Yeah, I like it. Well, there was a while where like all the Deagle highlights were done with the Blaze as well.
Yeah, the Blaze was like the OG one.
I think the happy Deagle on Inferno was with the Blaze.
True. Maybe there was a Blaze buff, but look back, a lot of better skins nowadays. But here we are, 3-1 for Cloud9. Starting to settle into this one, and the money because of the force buys, Jason, isn't that great here for G2?
Yeah, well, the fact that Cloud9's finally won out of it, right? The 4 rounds going back and forth, and Cloud9 able to take the 4th one 2 in a row, the first team to do it, so they get to stabilize a little bit. And as the start of this game, these 4 rounds with these kind of back and forths, it's started a little bit slow.
Well, I did see a comparison stat between Shiro and m0NESY, and I thought that was a pretty cool head-to-head to take a look at. And I see that m0NESY still had a better game, even though Shiro was playing against EG, and I think Yanko was bringing that up too. Pretty cool to see how this head-up battle between the 2 operas is going to pan out.
m0NESY's had such a good year so far. He's been so incredible. Another opening kill through the smoke. That was the AK-47. Hooksy recovers it, but eats a lot of nade damage, and Axile's not going to let him get away. 5-on-3 against unarmored pistols. Cloud9's going to be off to a very good start. And if they can survive with all 5 people alive, their money's going to be sitting pretty.
Well, just clearing out the sandbags, not a single player that. Nico It's a bit of a difficult position to clear out where Nico is playing from. They're going to nade stack out the Coleman spot, and that's why Nico isn't there. You're standing there with no Kevlar, he'd be absolutely obliterated, but gives himself a little bit of a fighting chance. But even Shiro is going to negate that issue. And he'll move forward and spot out Monacy towards the elevator. Unable to take him down, but no issues here for Cloud9. 5 players staying up, getting some money in the bank.
Yeah, and Monacy's going to have the op in the next round, so you just brought up that matchup, and we're going to get to see it come to fruition, or at least going to see Monacy with the AWP. Shiro doesn't have to pick anything up because they've got 4 or 5 rifles. And a timeout is called from G2's defense to make sure they can stabilize. Down 4-1, and don't want to let that hole get dug too much deeper.
I feel like we could be a bit more defensive and let them come to us and not to, for example, Copenhagen instantly put smokes because they are just waiting for this.
You can hear him there saying, let them come to us. We can wait to smoke them off.
It's fine, it's fine. That special round we shouldn't have done it. Because
Yeah, good to listen in on the G2 comms ahead of this timeout's conclusion. And we'll head into the round. Again, still a Khalil available for Cloud9. So they're going to be playing 4 AKs, 1 Khalil. But G2 have the advantage in terms of the purchase here. Superior weaponry. They've got Monacy under the AWP. And he's been having an incredible tournament. We'll have to see if he can keep it up against Cloud9. A good opponent to reach this early. Really see where you're at. G2 are coming into this. I spoke to JKS yesterday. You know, he's not expecting his form to continue from what it was at Katowice, but not seeing G2 really flounder to any of the weaker opponents, which used to be a feature of teams of old. And this will be a great test at the start of Pro League. Look at this from Nico, getting in the smoke at the bottom of the ramp. Nafany starting to spam through a few bullets. Nico trying to be careful not to get caught by that.
Yeah, he's already been caught by it once, right? In round number 2.
Yeah.
Or round number 3.
Doesn't want to happen again.
No, not at all.
This round's really important as well, and the CTs don't have any utility, really. You know, you still only got a couple of smokes available here. And Sindarin, you're just basically starting the round.
This is great, though. This is an advantage of Monacy, too. And without utility, you're just going to park Monacy with a deep angle down a ramp, and you're going to allow Nico to shift over to a different portion towards the middle part of the map. Monacy's even got a defensive smoke if he ever needs it to buy himself some time or some space. But that extra information of the op peering deep down, I don't know if Cloud9's gonna want to come challenge this in the mid round. Very dangerous. And it looks like over towards mid, Cloud9's gonna go. A little bit of utility spent towards Monacy's position to help activate Hobbit all on his own.
Well, in the meantime, G2 has started to move down the B stairs. Axel is the player that has to deal with this, but there's 2 players coming his way, and Axel is not even going to be able to deal with Hooksy. So a great start for G2. 30 seconds left.
No, but that opens up the middle of the map. Cloud9 know it. This is a great call. On the back of it, Hunter goes down immediately. And now Nafany, where does he take the team? A or B? He's got to pick now. And they're starting to wrap around towards the B-bomb site.
Oh, it's JKS. And he is so good when put in these anchor positions when he has to defend alone. He's got himself one. Throws the smoke down to just stay alive. And this is causing so many problems right now. Hobbit, in the meantime, is taking his teammates out, but JKS is so reliable. Plays it to perfection. Buster finally gets rid of him with just enough time to put the bomb down. Monacy now arriving to the party. A missed shot, but it's Nico that helps him out. Buster takes the bullets through the smoke, and there isn't a duo you would rather have in that position.
No, I mean, if you're Buster, there's nowhere you can go. You know the op is already out and likely keeping you boxed in from your right, and you know that when that smoke fades, you're right in the open for Nico. So good recovery. Well done from G2 to keep the pressure on. Not out of it just yet, though. That's an expensive victory with only 2 people surviving. But good aggression down the A ramp between JKS and Hooksy actually really helps this out. This is a phenomenal play from JKS. Even though he can't get the third, it's absolutely wonderful. He opens up the opportunity for a retake.
Well, finally, we're going to get to see the Shiro purchase of the AWP, so we enter that battle and that conversation between Monacy and Shiro, 2 of the heaviest hitters on the server. 4-2 lead for Cloud9, looking to maintain that, and this time G2 have a lot more utility. Shiro often can be found towards the bottom of the A ramp, looking for a pick, but not finding anything just yet.
Team Molotov misses its mark.
Here he goes, Nafany, quite the master of this spot. Got a couple of smokes named after him here. He's actually managed to find the perfect gap. Look at this.
Oh, Monacy didn't spot this.
Yeah,
Nico has no idea.
Nafany's just going to try and get as deep into the site as possible. But even when you turn back, Monacy is so quick to react, and Nafany ends up getting nothing.
Oh, that hurts. He had to have felt like he had such a huge advantage no matter what decision he made. Quickness from Monacy, and Nico even clears out scaffolding and is going to be able to back off. This defense is bolstered. It's very strong, and Cloud9 know they've got to slow it down and think of a new plan.
this new plan might be over towards B right now. Cloud9 setting up, congregating their forces outside. Plenty of utility to just execute into the bomb site, but JKS has been good so far. He is here alone at the moment, but we'll have a quick rotation back from Hooksy, from Construction to help. But maybe he can be preoccupied by Hobbit.
Hobbit's position is only going to be activated if they're able to have success at this bomb site. No one's there to punish JKS. Drops a deployed smoke, maybe confuses Cloud9 with the new position, but he's blinded up and taken down.
The utility's so good from Cloud9, they just put JKS in an impossible position. And here they go, Buster right through the smoke. This is perfect for Cloud9. They flipped this one back. The B bomb site's wide open, and they aren't going too far. They're not straying into the path of Nico, and they will actually see him because of the wide-eye peek. And this is looking great for Cloud9. They've shut this one down.
Absolutely beautiful from Cloud9. 4-on-5 set piece into the B bomb site. And you're right, utility masterfully layered. JKS did not know when the next piece of utility was going to come. Hobbit on the flank never even had to pounce. He just got to chill because all of his teammates just killed everyone.
Yeah, we thought he was going to be the X factor, maybe the lit play, but Monacy, oh, he's not going to get away with this AWP. Nice spot of the arm. Oh, he's quicker. Never doubt the flash, I guess.
That is quick, and he takes the shot before Shiro can probably even see a whole lot. 5-2. This is still a disaster for G2, though.
It is.
Likely have to drop down to some deagles on players like Hunter. Someone like Hooksy with 3,300 can drop one over if need be, but G2 is going to have to consider their money, and Cloud9 in a very strong position on Vertigo.
It's great to see Cloud9 playing well.
I mean, look, there's 3 Molotovs, default boxes, the double stack, all the way back in towards quad, which is smoked out. JKS just had nowhere really to get comfortable.
And I think the timing of the utility was key too, right? So the first Molotov comes in, forces him into that spot, and then the flash to really sell it. 5-2 though, aggressive play from Monacy. He knows he's the player that has to do something in this round, so he's getting aggressive in middle. You never feel comfortable in this kind of spot as an AWPer, especially because this kind of play can happen. Flash goes in, swing comes out. The AWP sure goes down, but they can be picked up again. Yeah,
they actually recovered 2 weapons out of that. That's not bad at all for G2. It's going to be painful losing Monacy, such a strong player, but you're going to be happy with the rifles that you've come out on top of. However, Nathany again just lurking through his smoke. He had that opportunity in the previous round. He goes back to it, and now Cloud9 in the driver's seat.
Yeah, JKS this time on the op, and he's going to miss the shot. Doesn't send it home. Hunter's turn. Kind of wants to get that AWP back, but going forward, almost surely commit him to death. So that's Cloud9 with another.
Hooksy was saying in the interview, like, some of the stuff that you guys came up with during that run on Vertigo back in the day still works. And he's like,
a few of the
he's like, oh, it still works, does it?
Reminded him.
Yeah,
right?
He's like, you're right. Let me go back to that 2021 playbook, the 2022 playbook.
Kind of was incredible, the stuff they got away with back in 2021. I think you probably only get away with a lot of the stuff they were able to pull off because it is online.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea at the time, and it bore a little bit of fruit considering they struggled kind of transitioning into the big events and lands at the time, but certainly at a point they felt like they figured it out, or at least the time had run out on to give them that kind of an excuse.
What do you think of this whole conversation around Buster? Because obviously I think a lot of people thought it was just a lateral move, right? You know, it's not really an upgrade. Some people thought it was a downgrade, but we heard a little bit more context as to what Buster does for the team. And I think Nathany was saying that, you know, when you say to Inters to go do something, he would go do it without question. But Buster goes and does it, but also comes up with a few extra ways of how he can punish the opponents.
Yeah, I think we're just very quick to kind of judge some of those roster changes immediately, and it's hard kind of having that sort of a roster change and having a slow start and some disappointing results right at the get-go. But I think nowadays it takes a little bit longer to acclimate new players into these lineups than it might have been back in the day.
Yeah, the game's just at a higher level.
I mean, it's hard too, because it's easy to say now that, like, it seems like it's working a little bit better with Buster sitting at 9-2, having had maybe 2 to 3 high impact rounds for them so far in this game. But look, this is a move that's made to power them up for the major. So that kind of cycle as it goes is when I think we really get to look back and have a clean judgment of what it looks like.
There goes Nathany getting caught this time. He's found so much success towards ramp, but this time they are ready for it. And G2 have a move to open up. And Nico getting aggressive down towards the bottom of the ramp. He's got the FAMAS in hand, but they've vacated the area. They're going back to B, where they've had a bit of success.
Exile's so good in this position. He's such a good B-Stairs player on both sides of the map. He's going to drop off the smoke. Didn't see anything that he wanted. Now, previously in a 4-on-5, Cloud9 readjusted to the B bomb site and had that wonderful set piece with Molotovs. Throwing some utility, looks like it's going to be a fake, and it's pulled Nico forward, so equalized, but still no clean opportunity with 42 seconds on the clock for Cloud9.
They going back? Seems like they are. Hobbit's making the move to run back. Axel still pressuring towards the B-bomb site. And G2, they're always active, and here's the kind of CT moves we're used to seeing. JKS getting aggressive, but Axel's smart. He keeps his head tucked down behind the box, and once again, it's given back.
That's a ratty position.
That
is such a ratty position. 20 seconds, and G2 with that aggressive push from Nico don't have information of what's coming, so the defense is split. And it's all on HooXi, but there's no real time to clear this position out. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, but he does. Peaks way too early, and now there's time for a bomb plant, and Hunter and m0NESY have a decision to make.
Well, the nade goes down, so does the bomb. And unfortunately, Hunter locked out. It's m0NESY coming back in, and this isn't the start that G2 were hoping for. And m0NESY may have the right read on one player's position, but with the lack of anything to play with at this point, you'd have to offer up quite a few kills quickly here to m0NESY. He's got the first on Hobbit.
No kit though, so I mean, he'd have to pick up the pace if he really wants to go for this.
Running in, AK-47 to another one. There is a kit down on the top of the stairs. m0NESY sprinting. Fantastic movement, but luckily Axel has the no-scope.
Yeah, you like the attempts. Admirable from the young star. He's had a couple of huge clutches, actually more than a couple. He's had plenty of huge clutches under his belt already. Really well done from Cloud9. I gotta say, I mean, that's a massive mistake at that point for HooXi to kind of swing out with 10 seconds on the clock. He's just looking for information, so it's a mistake born because G2's feeling uncomfortable not knowing what's happening on the map. He's trying to find that intel of where they're gonna end over towards A at this bomb site. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more than he wanted. I mean, even if he's able to just get back, if that's not an immediate headshot, he gets back behind the beam and he's just fine. 7-2, 5-round lead, another timeout for G2 under a lot of pressure.
This is what we've come to know from G2 over the last few events. Is what Yanka was calling atomic counter-strike, right? Is this always active, always making a move. But Cloud9 are actually kind of countering it at the moment. You know, all of these plays coming through from G2 are getting caught off. Cloud9 have been great so far on this T side of Vertigo, leading the way 7-2. G2, another week. Investment coming in. They're saving the cash for a rainy day. And this should be an 8th round for Cloud9.
You think, but don't count them out just yet. I had that conversation about Nico's Deagle earlier. We know that can shift rounds. He's been a little bit quiet so far in this game. 3 kills for Nico at this stage, going into round 10.
m0NESY, he's got Nico alongside him. Not just one Deagle here, it's 2. Let's see if that's enough. Maybe they can pull distraction. Here comes the Molotov into the sandbags, the swing out. m0NESY's got one, and now Nico playing around the one-way. Do they think because they've cleared out m0NESY that Nico isn't going to be around here, but they will be methodical, clear that one-way smoke, get rid of Nico, and well, you've taken really the main threat of defense out of G2's arsenal.
Yeah, Hunter's still here. A minute left on the clock. I mean, you have to imagine Cloud9's going to pump the brakes for the moment and just wait. All 4 players are here, so they're not moving across the map. It is going to be a challenge into the A bomb site. Hunter goes down easily. That's Hobbit with a nice headshot. And once again, JKS and HooXi, 2 players from G2. There's not really a whole lot to do. And again, with this slow pace, it's so hard to figure out. This is where this kind of style gets really, really annoying.
It does. There's a lot of teams that employ this strategy, this style of play, isn't there, at the moment? Just kind of stalking your opponent to the point where they make a mistake, and then finally you get all the information coming in because the nades are dropping into the bomb site. You've got to just hope you can pull it off. Unfortunately, not the weapons to do it. Axel and Buster come in, and it is an 8th round for Cloud9.
6 rounds in a row as well. Once the guns have come out, there was that initial back and forth with the force buys, but now it's just all Cloud9.
It's kind of weird. G2 haven't really been in this game, to be honest. It just feels like Cloud9 have come out swinging. Even in that force buy war, that's the only competitive part of this game so far.
I think Hobbit hit the wrong button at a spawn to buy because he's got an AWP and no armor.
Double up T side, a new strategy being deployed here at the Pro League.
I think he bought the wrong gun.
Let's see.
And they didn't want to waste the money, but he might get rewarded for it anyways. That's m0NESY to go down.
They're like, what is happening? Why has Hobbit got the open mid? I'll figure this one out, G2. Maybe this is the perfect curveball, but Nafny's lost the ramp fight. He's been so good at getting that going. This time it's Axel pressuring up towards B. This has been the response many times, and JKS cannot handle it.
He's not just pressuring, but it's a different timing of what he challenges, right?
Wow.
Hooksy's going to have to move forward. They know his position. Awkward jump. Hobbit's got another one with the second op on the T side. And there's the aggression from Shiro. Pulls out the pistol, drops the bomb.
Oh!
Hunter's brought him right back.
Here we go, Hunter. And unfortunately, drops back into the crosshair of Buster. But the double up T side actually worked out. So now we're back down to 1.
Yeah, but go back to normalcy. Drop that bad boy over to Shiro. Get the AK-47 back in your hands. Everybody calm down.
Oh, unfortunately for G2, it's another problem with the economy here again.
And remember, if you're the defender, if you're like JKS at that B bomb site, and Hooksy's been there a couple times as well, these B hits are coming like way later in the round, right? Like you've had chances to push up and clear things out and be aggressive. Those hits come later on, later stages, deep into the round. This one is just a 4v4, and Axile's like, you know what? Someone on defense is going to have to rotate, so I'm going to see if I have the 1v1 I'm looking for.
Shiro going for the wall back. It's Axel again, successful on the opposite end of the site. He's going to be taking JKS down on the aggressive play. Hooksy was not in a position to be able to trade it out, so it will be just the advantage for Cloud9 to sink their teeth in. And this time, Nafany's getting away with a bit more space to play with. Nico going with the same setup again here. Let's see if it works out the second time they try it.
You can just see, even when they get advantages, though, Cloud9's making sure that they're working the whole map. Right?
Yeah.
They've challenged up ramp a number of times. Nafany's had a lot of space to work with. Hobbit's had it a couple of times with some utility. Axile's been proactive at the B stairs. So even when they get opening kills, they're making sure that they're challenging multiple points on the map. G2's having a really tough time handling it, obviously. 48 seconds.
Every aggressive move that G2 have had has had a Cloud9 player waiting on the other side of it that just won that fight. So it's been very suffocating for G2 at the moment, but 35 seconds yet again left in the clock as Cloud9 start to make their way into this A site. They'll clear out the sandbags. Monacy's moved back now, a little bit deeper into the site. Hunter's been forced further back, and Cloud9 are just running this clock down, forcing G2 players away. And oh, Monacy, you don't like to see that. Misses a couple of sitter shots, and now they're coming into the site with Fire and Fury. Cloud9 on 10.
Oh, that's harsh for
Yeah,
Monacy.
you don't
We
see him
caught
do
all
that
of that.
often. Yeah, we stayed on it as well.
I know. Really, the Deagle sometimes is like that. Deagle sometimes doesn't give you a whole lot of love. Huge lead for Cloud9. And now, I mean, crazily enough, what, this is 6 in a row, 9 of the last 10 going to Cloud9?
Just moving up as a unit here, Cloud9. They are running the clock down, but to great effect. I think a big criticism coming out of Katowice was it felt like, I am quoting Maui Snake now.
Okay.
They were just putting players everywhere, and they're not finding all the clues, and they're not putting it all together. Now they're actually making that happen.
Not having a game. I mean, look, everyone on Cloud9 right now is winning their battles. Buster's having a great game at 12-3. Shiro's had some picks. Hobbit's had his rounds. Nafany's even having impact at A ramp in this game. Axile's controlling B stairs. So there's no one really on G2 that you're going to go to and say is able to really kind of stop what Cloud9 wants to do and hold their position. So this is just a battering ram at the moment.
Another buy for G2. We haven't seen too many of these in this first half. Let's see if they can win this fight. Nafany changing it up a little bit. He's quick towards B this time. JKS gets the utility in just to try and slow this one down right from the get-go. Nafany is going to take some damage from it, but he's got Axel alongside of him. I like the change up from Nafany. Been always towards the A side of things. And now it's G2's response. Hooksy gets flashed in for a peek, doesn't see anything. Now he's going to continue moving by. He's actually got the perfect timing, but he comes out of the smoke and wins the fight versus Axel. That's a difference for G2.
Yeah, finally a huge opening kill. The grab Monacy spotted one is going to build on top of it. Third time out is the charm, and G2 is in a 5-on-3 in round 13. And this time, none of Cloud9's moves have worked. They have no map control anywhere.
Cloud9 coming back. This time, more of a difficult challenge. Sure, we can run the clock down, but 2 players down. This is something we haven't seen them have to do yet.
Shiro's coming in real late with the bomb as well. Could get caught by a flank down ladder, but JKS is alone at the B bomb site. Hooksy with 12 HP is going to hustle over, but JKS has got to hold on a little bit longer. 35 seconds on the clock.
If he buys enough time, eventually Hunter could come in too, and JKS, you bank on him at least getting a 1 kill from this spot.
No utility on these defenders.
And here comes Hunter. JKS swings. Good first kill. Goes back in, gets the second. That's it. That's the job done. Pack it up. Here goes Hunter. Finally gets his reward.
Nicely done. Good round, good opening kills from Hooksy, from Monacy down with the AWP, but another good hold at the B bomb site from JKS. Double kill from him, and Cloud9's going to take their first time out. They want to scrape together the final 2 rounds of this half.
10-5 would be a massive recovery considering how this game has gone. G2 were not in it for large portions of this first half, but to recover, it's not going to be easy because Cloud9 have won so many rounds, they've got so much cash to play with. They just keep buying. It's not going to be any easier. Full buys till the end of days here in this first half of Vertigo. This is a fight that I didn't really expect to go that way.
It felt like it was a really awkward timing for Exile when Hooksy comes through that smoke. He's kind of considering it, but he was swinging out a little bit wider and just he's looking at the other side, looking at the other angles, and just well found from Hooksy coming through. Good risk, and he's got the reward, 10-3. And round 14 is underway. Up in the hands of Shiro and Monacy as well on the other side of things. And finally, out of a victory, G2's not backs against the wall. They have some money built up, but it's just so late in the half.
Nico just up on short. Nafany playing around his own smoke. Proclaimed.
Oh, here's a peek. Flash setup.
Here's the flash coming in. Oh, Nafany knows to tuck his head down. Nico hasn't seen him. Now the Molotov comes in. Nico forced into the fight, and that's perfect. Another little rack corner found by Cloud9.
Yeah, that's actually so sick for no. They knew exactly where the flash came from as well. Exile smacks him down, and that's usually the B stairs player. That position is vacated from anyone from Cloud9. If G2 want to risk it, you might just want to try and pull JKS over immediately.
Well, he's going down the stairs at B in the time being, but I don't think it even matters. All the kills are Cloud9, and that hope and dream that G2 would be able to pull off 5 in this first half, well, it's out the window.
That's a good round from Cloud9 as well, considering that's a nice killer instinct to see out of Cloud9. You can see Shiro just holding on to the bomb. He's like, let's go hunt that last weapon down. I'm going to let you guys move across the map a little bit longer. 40 seconds to wait for it. JKS going to try and hold on to this weapon a long time in T-spawn.
Sounds like a game of prop but immediately gets spotted and taken out. But when's the last time we've seen G2 getting controlled like this?
Yeah, they're getting worked right now. When's the last time you saw Cloud9 able to just work one of the top teams in the world in this fashion?
But the thing is, we haven't actually seen Cloud9 play G2 in a very, very long time. I think the last time they played was back in October last year.
I think Nico might have stuck around a little bit longer than he had to for that flashbang peak, right? Obviously, you don't expect Nafany to be down there, so you're kind of keeping that deep angle for some information. But this is just great. I mean, Shiro's able to pin down one. Exile is able to get those fights in open space that he loves. And it's all looking good. It's all working for Cloud9.
Now they're flying high. It's got me feeling more positive about them already. Sure, their opening game was good, but against a lesser opponent. But they have brought a great level to this game. Hunter spots the boost in mid, and Hobbit taken off the top of it.
But even when you lose that fight, Cloud9's going to have something going on the other side of the map. This time, Nico's alone.
Here comes Shiro. And he catches Nico on his own. He's broken in.
That timing is so harsh for Nico. Now Shiro gets another one, peeking into the bomb site. Hooksy's here as well, but the defense is getting torn up.
Here we go. Shiro having a round. Nafany's trying to move forward, and he'll cut through the in-game leader on the other side. Takes him down easily, in fact. Now Monacy and JKS, a 2 versus 4 left in this half. You've just got to go for it. Unlikely as it may be, they'll throw everything they've got at it, but Shiro with another kill. Just JKS left. He'll come through the elevator smoke, but Axel has the perfect angle.
Man, seeing in the kitchen bringing that magic.
Cloud9 are flying so high, they've got vertigo right now. 12-3, just leading the way. It's been a one-sided game throughout, Jason. We've only seen a few buy rounds in that first half from G2. Now coming to the second half, they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's been, you're right, it's been very one-sided. And in fact, G2 not able to string 2 rounds together at any point during that first half. They were just constantly harassed all across the map. Nafany success at A. Exil's success at the B-bomb site. Hobbit even getting double kills with an AWP. Here we go into the pistol of the second half. All 5 players of G2 with armor. No utility across the board for the attacking pistol.
And on the other side of things, 2 sets of dual Berettas. You love to see that. All the guns in play. Hobbit's going to start moving his way down the bottom of the ramp.
Ooh, actually, this is like an old school tank strat. Like, just put 4 people over here, start pushing if you don't see anything. So this flank is going to come in mighty quick.
Oh, this is going to be so fast. Axel is currently watching towards middle, but if he can just stay alive, he can have a full team coming in behind his opponent. Nico trying to slip the net. He's going to go forward and immediately get taken out by Axel. And here comes Hooksy running into the site. It's actually Hunter that's managed to pick that up, but remember the flank. It's all about this Hobbit play coming through the backside. The bomb is going down in a safe spot, and Hobbit is trying to rattle these bullets into Hunter, but hasn't come away with a kill. Finally, we're getting something here, Jason.
Oh, this flank is kind of not worked nearly as well, but no one's. Oh, they're on the other side of E-Box. This is relatively doable. They're gonna have to peek. Great shot from JKS. Doubled up, and now it's over. G2 take the pistol.
That was all over the place. That really was. We had the flank coming in. We had the ball being planted. Everybody dropping behind the generator.
The winning call, it seems such a small detail, as Hooksy and Hunter pushing forward and clearing Exile out of that position behind that E-Box. If you behind generator, if you let him stay there, that flank is so much more aggressive because you can't push yourself into safety whatsoever. So just that one kill opened up a lot of avenues for G2 once the bomb is planted, and obviously some freaking incredible shots from JKS.
I've learned from playing Fantasy that if you put the booster on him to win a pistol round, have
Yeah,
the best pistol round, it's just insane activation. He had it yesterday. He's just incredible in the pistol rounds, JKS.
All right, little tip off for all you fantasy players out there.
Here comes Nico. Mac 10 in hand. Nafany can smell the anime off of it. Gonna throw smoke down and just lock in the short position.
Remember, the first half started as well with the force buy wars back and forth, trading rounds between the 2 teams. It could happen here as well.
Yeah, the UMP is out in full force here for Axel. And Buster was the first player to spot this mid-attack coming in. He's just going to drop back and keep his life, even though he loses half of his health. But here they come. Hooksy going in towards spawn. Buster and Shiro trying to pull a crossfire. It's not really going to work out, though. They try to put up the clothesline. They end up getting hung out to dry.
Oh, he got tagged trying to make the jump. I thought he might have fallen. Nafany just avoiding the bullets through the smoke. Gets a nice kill on a JKS. Should not be able to recover a rifle, or at least keep it alive. And so he's going to fight. He's going to challenge in one more. He could actually go for this if he wanted to.
He could. A Nafany clutch. But he's got limited time to get back into this one, so needs to start speeding it up soon. Once you get past this initial point, you should just try and speed this up into the fights. Otherwise, you're not going to be winning this round. Time ticking. Spotted now. Down to 4 HP. Nafany probably can't even get away with the AK alive now, and so he'll get caught by Monacy. And another round for G2. They needed to win that one.
Respect, though. Going for some extra economic damage. Not too bad whatsoever for Nafany. 12-5. Good job from G2. I was a little worried when they were walking into that crossfire setup in CT spawn, but Monacy handles it very well. Clears the tight angle. Responds to the follow-up on Buster. G2 now with 2 in a row.
Yep, this is the first 2 steps at least, but a very long road back into this one. And for this round, Cloud9 have literally nothing to play with. Well, they have Axel's Deagle, so maybe not literally. Let's see if he's got something here. In the meantime, Nico once again putting pressure out towards the top of the ramp. And he's going to go fighting the pistols. It's 1 for Nico, taken down by Shiro. And they'll start making their way in towards this empty B side. G2 on the comeback trail, truly. What do you made it today so far, Jason? Has there been many violent moments that you've witnessed when we have the old foam blasters going around? Because I've been attacked in the back of the head in many different positions.
I think everyone's getting attacked these days. I think the rough one was the sneak attack from Henry this morning, getting the players in the line of fire as well.
Henry, you can't trust him. He's breaking the vision mixer.
You can't give adults foam blaster weapons.
Trace is actually incredibly creative. He set it up. He's actually customized his rifle. There we go. Trying to at least move into the side here at the moment. Looks he's not going to allow any shenanigans to happen. Oh, going to go down apart from Hobbit and Buster. Another round for G2. Halfway there now.
Halfway.
Or
The second half of this road feels very, very long, though, if you're G2. They're not excited just yet, but this is a good start, and it's a start they could never get in the first half, which was stabilizing their money and having some kind of cash flow built up behind him. Shiro's got the op, though. 18 kills on him to lead the server.
Let's see what Shiro can do on the CT side. He has to go up against m0NESY. And Hunter, in the meantime, is pressuring towards B, just that standard Molotov in behind the wood. But as soon as I say it, Shiro catches m0NESY right at the beginning of the round. It looked like a wall bang straight through the wood there. And Nico's picked it up. We know Nico loves to get the AWP in his hands when he can. Not often allowed to do it.
Why would you with m0NESY? Oh, he just missed the timing. He might have had it, and Shiro's too quick.
Well, that's usually what happens. Nico no longer with the AWP. That was his moment. That was his chance. But Shiro is on one.
I'm assuming he spotted m0NESY through the little gap in that scaffolding from that angle.
Oh,
my lord! What?
Shiro has got another one. A ramp is closed, just straight up closed.
I got no idea where that one came from.
I don't even know. He's just shooting people through the walls.
All right, JKS. It's up to you. Create something out of nothing.
Jeez. Shiro with 3. He might even get 4 here. I don't really want to go into the A side if I'm Hunter. Hobbit's over here with the rifle up on top of the boost.
I mean, I think if you're G2, I almost felt like it makes sense they want to go for some fights and try and find some kills, right? This is the first gun round from Cloud9, so any kind of economic damage that G2 could do would be nice, but without finding anything in a 2 versus 5, you know you have an AWP in play, there's no flashbangs, there's no smoke, there's not a whole lot of tools to kind of do anything. So this makes sense as well, just saving the weapons at the end of the day. Drop one over to Hooksy, who's stuck on 150, but what a statement round from Shiro in the first gun round of the second half.
Yeah, that was a big highlight round from Shiro.
I want to see the third kill.
Yeah, I kind of want to know where that came from. We'll see what the bot has for us.
Yeah. What a disgusting round with the off. This is...
No way. No way.
Okay. Okay, he saw him.
He flipped
oh, my lord.
into the concrete. Oh,
That's a nasty shot.
oh, that is disgusting.
That is a nasty shot.
I reckon if Shiro did anything else with his life, he wasn't a Counter-Strike player. He could be like a precision pilot or something. Like he could just be a surgeon with that kind of like accuracy.
Sure.
And that quick. That's kind of nuts.
Medical school and professional Counter-Strike, a lot of the same skill sets.
Exactly, right? And you can probably do them alongside each other.
Long nights, a lot of research, steady hand.
Although, I'd rather be a Counter-Strike player.
For sure.
It's a lot more rewarding and fulfilling, I reckon. Far more valuable to society.
Yeah,
13
definitely.
To 6.
All the entertainment.
Here we go. G2. That isn't what you want to see. And you have such a long path to get back into it, and Shiro doesn't even let you up the ramp. You can't even really jump anywhere because you're just getting tracked. Doesn't feel good. And here we go again. It's a buy for G2. Shiro this time switching it up. Is in the middle. And m0NESY's turn to try and challenge down ramp.
Going for the spam, not going to connect. Shiro's in a new position.
Is he about to get another opening here? Oh, he's going to drop back at least.
Yeah, great utility. Molotov and flashbang combo. Shiro, he does fall back, not all the way. Still in a little bit of a danger position, but G2's attack is going to be happy with the utility used and back off without peering around the corner.
Seems like they want to work onto the B side here. JKS setting up the flash. Hunter should then start to make his way up the stairs.
Axile's got a defensive smoke to deploy when he feels a little nervous, and here it is. Just going to plume on the steps. Deny access for G2.
The flashes just keep coming from JKS, and here they go, moving forward. They've emptied his utility belt, and Shiro's come over on the rotation, but it's the rifles that get the first kill. Shiro lights up on towards Hooksy yet again, back-to-back rounds. m0NESY needs to find a little bit of a gap, but it's heating up, and he misses the shot on the retreat. Axel's rifle lets rip, and JKS can't get anything in mid.
That hit is so hard to pull off if you don't put a Molotov at those default boxes, because even though they know Axile's position, and even though they know he's blind as well, if you don't actually force him out, you have to keep your attention there, and that opens up Buster not having anyone pay attention to him coming in for support. Shiro with the op didn't have any pressure put on him as well, and G2 just gets stopped. Look at this. Everyone's glancing at Exile. Hunter and Hooksy, the main thrust of that attack. Eyes forward, and their deaths come from the side. An 8-round lead for Cloud9, looking to close out Vertigo quickly.
This should be incredible. You know, G2 haven't lost many maps recently. Only losing one in the finals and dropping the ball hardly ever. This kind of statement performance in Cloud9 might feel a little more positive moving forward. JKS is just getting absolutely destroyed by utility right now, and here goes Shiro to finish him off. I love when Shiro just takes aggressive fights and even gets back for a second. You love to see that. Well, if you're a Cloud9 fan, not so much of your G2, and they're making a last-ditch effort to try and run into this A side, and the rifles are coming through. Shiro's just everywhere, and that's incredible. Cloud9 are having a great time right now.
Yeah, unreal opping from Shiro. This is awesome to see. 25 kills now. Really icing out Monacy, who's had a hot start to the year. 9-round lead. Yeah, this is a lot of people are going to be stunned after this game, myself included.
I don't think anybody was coming into this while predicting this kind of level out of Cloud9. Sure, maybe they could play it real close, but they've completely locked G2 out of this map. There hasn't really even been any crazy moments from the individuals of G2 either, which can often get you back into the game or when around you shouldn't. They've just suppressed them entirely, and it is that slow T side that kind of drained it out of them.
And now, I mean, it's just Shiro with the off in these gun rounds. Like, what are you supposed to do? Every time you head in his direction, it's an automatic kill for Shiro, sometimes even 2.
Well, Shiro 27 and 10.
Yeah.
Might get another one to close this map. Hunter goes down, and it is Cloud9 that come into this matchup and stun. Shiro's performances leave us jaw-dropped. Cloud9 take map 1.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal performance from Cloud9. That's a statement win, and it's letting G2 know what's coming in the rest of the series. They better have a conversation. Smiles around, a little bit of laughter. They're going to wipe it off, and we'll be right back for map 2.